You know, I've been a basketball fan since I can remember. I played basketball with my dad in Harlem when I was 5 years old. So I remember loving the game, and the game not necessarily loving women back, right?
At all.
At all. And the WNBA started in 1996. First games played in 1997. And we're just really now talking about it. And so if Caitlin Clark is the vehicle that will bring this sport that I have loved so much and so long to little 5-year-old girls playing in Harlem, I say yes, bravo. I have no problem with that.
Sunny Hostin just couldn't resist. What started as admiration for Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise turned into yet another race-laced hot take. On The View, Sunny floated the idea that Clark's fame might be boosted by white privilege, a move that instantly lit up controversy. But this time, even LeBron James wasn't having it. Known for speaking up on justice issues, LeBron flipped the script. He defended Clark, calling her a generational talent and slamming the tired narrative that tries to reduce success to skin color. He didn't mince words. Clark earned her spotlight. Period. Suddenly, Sunny looked out of step, even to her usual fans. What was meant to stir applause backfired big time. Because this isn't about privilege, it's about a player rewriting the rules with raw, undeniable talent, and no hot take can overshadow that. At first, it felt like more of the usual noise, another sweeping claim wrapped in emotional buzzwords. Sunny Hostin declared that the game doesn't love women back, turning a complex issue into a melodramatic soundbite. But let's be real, the WNBA has been bankrolled by the NBA since its inception. Millions poured in, constant promotion, yet the league still hasn't turned a profit. That's not sexist, that's math. Still, Sunny brushed past the facts in favor of the same tired storyline, as if this conversation just magically started now, like Caitlin Clark suddenly woke the world up to women's basketball. But where was The View all these years? They've had decades, literal decades, to elevate the sport. If it mattered so much, why wasn't the WNBA getting a weekly spotlight before Clark lit up the scoreboard? But Sunny wasn't done. Just when it seemed like the segment might veer towards something balanced, she yanked the wheel back to the usual narrative: Caitlin Clark, and of course, her race. Because for Sunny, no achievement is complete without a racial lens. Facts optional, drama required.
With that being said, I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so part of it is about race, because if you think about the Brittany Griners of the world, you know, why did she have to go to play in Russia?
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay, not because she was black, but because they didn't believe in the WNBA.
This is part of my point. So now, you know, Caitlin Clark is bringing this money, these sponsorships, we hope, into the league, and other players will benefit from it. But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive. And unfortunately, there still is that stigma of against the LGBTQ plus community. 70% of the WNBA is black. A third of the players are in the LGBTQ plus community.
Let's break it down. What's really happening on The View isn't bold commentary, it's performance theater with a built-in applause track. And Sunny Hostin, she's mastered the art of turning every sports headline into a monologue about race, whether it fits or not. Her latest target? Caitlin Clark. And this time, she didn't just miss the point, she bulldozed right over it. Claiming Clark's popularity is all about skin color doesn't challenge the system. It insults every ounce of work she's put in. We're talking about a player who's shattered records, carried teams, and stayed ice cold under pressure. That's not privilege, that's precision. But imagine the chaos if a conservative sports host said LeBron James was only great because of his race. It'd be a media firestorm, and everyone knows it. So why the double standard? Here's the truth. In sports, politics eventually hit a wall, because numbers don't lie. And Caitlin Clark's numbers? They're legendary. She's not some media-built illusion. She's the real thing. And even LeBron, a man who's built his career on both performance and principles, made it clear on JJ Redick's show, Clark isn't riding a wave. She is the wave.
I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills. I hope Aaliyah Boston does amazing. You know, I hope they do great. You know, I'm just kind of in this mode right now because I'm getting the same thing from watching my son, who's a 19-year-old, kind of getting a lot of animosity and hatred towards him when he's just a kid trying to live out his dream. There's a very small number of men and women that actually get to live out their dream of playing the professional sport. And we have grown men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is, and I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulder.
Put the politics on mute for a second, and what you'll see is something much bigger than the noise. Resilience in real time. LeBron James has lived under a spotlight so intense, it would melt most athletes. Every move he's made, every word he's spoken, has been pounced on, picked apart, and politicized. From the decision to his most controversial interviews, critics have tried to write his legacy in pencil, hoping it can be erased. But here's the truth. They never could. LeBron didn't just survive the storm, he thrived in it. And that's exactly the path Caitlin Clark is walking. She's not just playing ball, she's doing it while the world watches her every dribble, waiting for a misstep. Critics who wouldn't last 5 minutes in her sneakers keep trying to reframe her story as anything but earned. They say privilege, they say media hype, they say everything but what the scoreboard screams. And that's where Sunny Hostin's argument crashes hard. Because if you actually look at the facts, and yes, we're about to do that, there's nothing to support her take. Nothing but noise. So let's turn to someone sitting right next to Sunny. Whoopi Goldberg, of all people, dropped stat-laced mic on national television and shut it down. Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's historic. She's the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, man or woman. She shattered Pistol Pete's 3,667-point record. She's dropped more 30-point games than anyone in the last quarter century. She's the Big Ten's all-time assist leader and holds the single-season three-point record for women. That's not buzz, that's blood, sweat, and stats. And in the WNBA, she hit the ground running and rewrote the rookie handbook. Most double-doubles in Indiana Fever history, most three-pointers, most 10-assist games, fastest ever to 100 threes, quickest to 350 points and 150 assists, all before finishing her first season. That's not media inflation, that's raw dominance. She made the All-WNBA first team, won Rookie of the Year. And her influence? It's not just in box scores, it's in viewership and butts in seats. Fox Sports execs confirmed her games are pulling triple the usual ratings, averaging over 1.2 million viewers. And live attendance? She's doubling it. Games with Clark average 16,000 fans. Without her, around 8,500. That's not a bump, that's a revolution. And LeBron James sees it, loud and clear. On JJ Redick's podcast, he didn't just defend her, he spotlighted the seismic shift she's causing. He knows what it looks like when an athlete transcends the game. And Caitlin Clark, she's not climbing the ladder, she's building a new one. This isn't about privilege, it's about power, earned, undeniable, and history-making. Absolutely nailed it. Caitlin Clark isn't just participating in women's basketball, she's transforming it from the inside out. Athletes like her don't just rack up wins, they raise the ceiling of what the sport can be. Every generation has that one player who doesn't just play the game, but redefines it. Michael Jordan didn't just collect rings, he turned the NBA into a worldwide obsession. Serena Williams didn't just win, she shattered the mold of what power, precision, and dominance look like in tennis. Ronda Rousey didn't just fight, she forced the world to take women's MMA seriously. And Messi and Ronaldo, they've taken the soccer world and rewired it, dragging global attention from Europe to new territories like the US and Middle East, making stadiums erupt and economies shift. Caitlin Clark is already stepping into that same rare air. Every time she steps onto the court, the ripple effect is undeniable. More viewers, bigger crowds, and headlines that aren't just about scores, but impact. She's not just lighting it up, she's igniting something bigger. But here's the thing. Instead of celebrating that brilliance, some would rather dilute it with shallow takes and tired identity narratives. And that's not just frustrating, it's limiting. It keeps the focus on controversy instead of contribution. Caitlin's rise isn't about politics, it's about performance. It's about skill so sharp, vision so elite, and presence so magnetic that she's pulling an entire league into a new era. That kind of greatness shouldn't need defending. It should be recognized.